यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 13th of 13th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sarvatah Panipadam Tat सर्वतोक्षिशिरो मुखम सर्वतश्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. Bhagavan promised in the last verse that he would define about Nyeya Vastu. What is that Nyeya Vastu? Nyeya Vastu means an entity that which is to be known. Is there any entity that has to be known? Yes, there is one entity called Brahman. That's what he introduced in the last verse. Brahman means what? Brahman means that which is bigger than anything, bigger than everything, that which is all pervasive, which doesn't have beginning. Anadi doesn't have beginning. Anadi Matu. Then Param, that which is superior than everything. And that is which beyond cause and effect. Satu asatu na uchyate. So all these definitions, it looks like, meaningless. Okay, where can I see this entity? Should I go to Caribbean Sea? Or should I go to Atlanta, Antarctica? Or should I go to Mount Everest? Or should I travel in Himalayas? Should I search for meditation? That meditation which should be continued for 12 years. Will I get this entity? When Bhagavan defines, there is something to be known. If you are born as a human being, you don't have choice, you have to know. This is the only one way you can conquer your life. All Upanishads proclaim there is one Vastu, Jnaya Vastu. This is completely teaching from Upanishads. This chapter began with the question of Arjuna. Do you remember that? We have to remind it. He just asked meaning for 6 technical terms which are used mainly in Vedantas. What are they? Kshetram Kshetrajnaha, Jnanam Jneyam, Purusham Prakriti. These 6 technical terms, they are connected in various aspects in the teaching of Vedanta. Therefore, you cannot get proper meaning from the dictionaries. The dictionaries which are useful only for the transaction. Otherwise, you need to have some kind of special dictionary, so which talks about the in-depth meaning of a technical term. There are dictionaries, they give proper meaning. But the proper meaning means what? They give meaning according to Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, according to Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya. Because we have Shad Darshanam. Shad Darshanam means that there are 6 kinds of school of thoughts. We don't call them as a religion. The religion is the word. So when you combine this knowledge with the lifestyle and that which is established by a great personality, then it is known as a religion. Krishna is not establishing the religion here. Krishna is establishing life in Bhagavad Gita. But that establishment we can find in Sanatana Dharma. That's what the special is. Now Sanatana Dharma altogether establishes a lifestyle, the lifestyle which is going to be useful for one who adapts it. Now if I adapt the lifestyle of Sanatana Dharma, there I am given a task to realize an entity called Brahman. Now, Upanishads suggest one should know, one should come to know about this object, but which is not an object. I already told in the last session, this 2-3 classes is going to be the jumble of words. But don't think you won't get anything. Just keep listening. The teaching doesn't depend on our minds. The teaching doesn't depend or doesn't expect our mind to accept or reject. It just transcends. It trances. It penetrates our likes and dislikes. Because we have a frame ideology about our life. Because we think world means something where I can enjoy. And world means something which can give happiness at the same time sadness. All universities, parents, friends and relatives and all these books and educations, everything teaches we have to know the things which are required for survival. In order to survive, I have to learn something. Therefore, we have so many categories of educational divisions. We can select medical, we can select physics, chemistry, zoology, botany. All these things we learn not for the sake of our thirst of our knowledge. We learn to survive. It becomes mandatory. One should learn something, then alone he can survive in this world. All of them are connected with the survival, connected with money, connected with all facilities of the world. Now Bhagavan is introducing this education doesn't have the purpose of survival. This education has a purpose, but that which is the substratum of the survival. Once you understand about this education, which has an ultimate goal, the goal is nothing but Brahman. That Brahman is an entity to be known. Now Vedanta alone, it proclaims your goal is to come to know about Brahman. Know where it is taught. Therefore, it looks very peculiar to us. Even when Arjuna asked questions, all those words seems to be is not connected with us. Kshetram is not connected. Kshetra means, our dictionary meaning is place. That's what the simple meaning. Kshetra means place. Kshetrajna means what? We blink our eyes because Kshetrajnaha means one who sees the place, one who comes to know about the place. If you are going to a place, so for example, you are going to Tirumala. Now, when you see the Tirumala is a Kshetram. When you see, the knower of Kshetram becomes Kshetrajnaha. This is what the normal meaning of these words, but Vedanta has got very deep meaning. By understanding the meaning of these words, you will get rid of your samsara. It's a big deal. Verse number 12 to 18 in 13th chapter deals with an entity which is to be known. No option at all. If you are born as a human being, you have to know this is only one way you can close your account. Okay, what will happen if I don't know about this object? I'm not interested to know. Nothing will happen. You will continue joyfully, sadfully. You will continue to next birth. Once I come to know, what will happen? You ask in that way. If you are asking that, the answer is yes, sir, you are fortunate enough. It's mind blowing because you got interested in this subject matter. It means you are fortunate enough. So, Punya Shali, that's what the meaning is. So, Bhagavan introduces in the chapter number 13, Nyaya Vastu. So our Shastra have defined there is one Nyaya Vastu, there is an entity to be known. If you are a parent, let your children know. My dear, there is an entity to be known. To be known how? With all systematic way of teaching. You should undergo Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Then what is that entity? That entity is revealed from verse number 13 to 18. But the teaching method, it seems to be so confusing. Sarvataha Panipada. That which has got legs all over, hands all over, hairs all over. What does it mean? Legs everywhere, heads everywhere. Now we have to analyze how the teaching is given, because world is making effort to come to know what is the base material of the world. What is the substratum? Is there any entity? Is there any power? Is there any cause? That causes for the creation. If we are able to find it out, we can have a better life. We can have a better life. That's what the motto, the science is digging. What is the cause of entire Jagat? There are few elements, from space everything comes. Now they were thinking, space was the substratum. But space is not the substratum, because space also is caused by something. Then they found there was one thing called molecule. These are all technical terms from the science, Molecule can be the substratum. It can be a truth from which everything have come. Now, then they started digging molecule and they divide the molecule. Then they found there is one entity called atom. So atom is the substratum of everything. Then research continued. After so many years, they found one more material which causes for the atom. They say atomic particles. Now the particles are separated. When the particles were separated, then they found there is a kind of energy. That energy principle is not able to realize completely. So this is how science is digging the cause of the entire universe. So this is how science is doing research in order to find the cause of entire universe, creation. But Vedanta has got complete idea about it. Vedanta is very solid in order to define the subject, that which is substratum from which the creation has happened. That entity is known as Brahman. So can I understand that entity? Yes, of course. But that entity is Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Arasam, Agandham, Adarshanam. That is beyond our sense organs. That is beyond our understanding capacity. That is beyond of our buddhi level. You cannot think even, because that is not an object. It's not prameya vastu, it's aprameya vastu. Immediately we lose the interest. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता. Immediately, we lose our interest. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता. There is nothing like that, Can there be any entity that which is beyond our perception, beyond our, beyond everything? So one Swami was called Beyond Ananda. It looks funny name, but there is a sense. Beyond Ananda. There is a bliss beyond our perception, beyond our capacity. Now Bhagavad Gita seems to be something, beyond our head. Don't worry. Our acharyas are very compassionate. They have found a proper solid method to assimilate this knowledge. It's like, so when you are walking on the road, you had a 2-kilometer walking at noon, you completed your walking or you completed some purchasing things and you return your home. When you open the door, after coming inside of your house, the house looks dark. The darkness continues for a few minutes. Then your eyes will get the capacity to see the things. The things will be visible. In the same way, Vedanta, when it introduced, it looks like darkness. We have to keep going. Then we can find something. That something will become something for everything. Don't you understand? That's something which is in the form of realization. that realization will bring all kinds of happiness. That happiness which cannot be broken, which cannot be limited, which cannot be shaken. That is the great benefit of this. Okay, now how can we understand these words? Sarvataha panipadam tatha. Okay, so let me give an example. How do we understand these 2-3 words? When I say a tall man, a fat man, a short man, white board, all these words, they are endowed with subjective, isn't it? There is a noun, tall man, man is a noun, tall is an adjective, isn't it? Now adjective, it denotes or it gives the meaning of something, that something we can call as a property. It talks about a property of a person. Now man becomes the noun, this tall becomes an adjective. Adjective refers a kind of property, the noun becomes substance, isn't it? So noun means it talks about an object, that object which is in the form of noun. Now adjective will specify the property, noun will specify the substance or substant. This is what we get to know by this example. But if I say golden bangle, wooden chair, these 2 words, they do also have noun and adjectives, isn't it? See, noun, bangle is a noun, golden is an adjective. Now golden is not referring a property here. Now the bangle which is noun, it is not referring, it is not bringing the meaning of the substance. Now golden is what? It seems to be adjective, but the gold is the substance in this word. Bangle, though it is a noun, it is a noun, but it doesn't denote the substance. Substance is the gold. Bangle is just, it symbolizes, the word gives meaning of the name and form. Now we learn that adjectives can also refer substance. In the same way, sarvataha panihi padam. Here we have to understand all these words, they are looking like a noun, adjective, but they refer not a property, substance. You need to have long time, this is a different teaching altogether. This is a way to establish the teaching. Because you cannot say that the Brahman is beyond our perception, but we cannot see that, we cannot hear that, we cannot touch it, but there is something. Then how will we understand? There must be some method. Now you can see, panihi, padam means you are confirmed that yes, I do have hands. You won't ask, there is no hands at all. You won't have the doubt regarding it. Because hands are evident to us, legs are evident to us, heads are evident to us, eyes are evident to us. We believe this all is existing. Like me alone, others also exist. Now my body is an existent material, others' body also is an existent material. When you say legs and hands and heads are existing, so all of them are existing. So an existent can be explained through adjectives. Okay, so that which doesn't exist cannot be explained, cannot be imagined. In the same way, the Brahman, that which exists, but that which doesn't have a particular form, but it exists in all the form as a substance, as a substratum, as a base material, as upadana karana, as nimitta karana, as a vivarta upadana karana, like mud in a pot, clay in a pot, milk in the curd. So these examples we have seen already. But here Bhagavan says, he is going to say later on, rope for snake. When you see snake on the rope, so now rope becomes the cause for the snake which is imaginated, that mistake which was committed or which is committed by a human being, by a particular person. Now the mistake was committed in his buddhi, but the rope becomes cause. But really speaking, rope doesn't become cause for that. Like that, this Brahman alone exists. It is the substratum, cause of everything, but it doesn't cause of everything. So this understanding, it takes long time, don't worry. But here you just realize, whatever the object comes in front of me, that object has got 5 kinds of amshas. Amsha means what? The 5 kinds of principles. Drigdrishya vivekam, it talks about it. Asti bhati priyam nama rupam. Asti bhati priyam rupam nama chetyam shapanchakam adyatrayam jagadrupam brahma rupam tatodvayam. These words, it gives a proper meaning here, Every object has got 5 principles. Out of this 5 principles, the first 3 principles belongs to Brahman. The 2 principles which is called Jagat, that which is known as name and form. But every name has got a form, every form has got the basic 3 principles which is known as Asti Bhati Priyam, Sat Chit Anantam. Asti means existence. Every object which we see, it has got existence. That existence never goes. If you cut the tree which exists, you cut the tree, after cutting the tree would exist. After burning, means after burning that wood, you convert wood into ash exists. Okay, so that existence never goes from any object, and that existence is endowed with that shining principle bhati. Every material, every parts, which is in the form of world, it is shining. Not only that, that is attractive too. Asti bhati priyam, every object. Any object you take, they have their own attraction. If you see the flower, it is very attractive. So usually, when you see the baby, you are attracted and you are going yourself to take and pamper the baby. Every object is endowed with attractiveness. Okay, attraction. Now, Asti Bhati Priyam, these 3 belongs to Brahman. What appears in the name or forms? There are so many names, so many forms. All the forms and names, they do have these 3 principles which is inherent in them. That 3 principles known as Brahman. That's what is explained by Lord Krishna. So when you look around so many people's legs and hands and heads and sense organs, all of them are nothing but inherent by this Brahman entity, the entity which is known as Brahman. Sarvam avritya tisthati. Now he also talks about Maya principle. So why I can't see that basic 3 principles? Yes, you can experience from you. You exist, I exist, he exists, she exists, mountain exists, the river exists, the sun exists, the moon exists, the star exists. That existence is confirmed by whom? How can you say there is a sun? How do you confirm? Your existence confirms the sun's existence. So I exist. Are you sure you exist? Yes, I exist. The existence of my existence is confirmed by me alone. If I'm asking, making you sit in a dark room, are you there? You will say, yes, I am. Are you there? Are you sure you are there? Yes, I am. If I ask, is there a chair if I ask one more question, is there a chair right side you? Is there a chair on right side of you? Immediately you will say that, I don't know, give me a torch, I will say it. But if I ask you, are you there? You are not looking for any equipment to confirm it. Just you confirm, yes, I am there, I am there. How do you confirm it? That's what the existence. So that's self-evident. It doesn't require a torch light you to see. You require a mirror to see your own face, but you don't require anything to experience you. That you is self-evident, that which is existing. That is known as Sad principle. Sad means the existence. You are existent entity. Like that, every object also has got isness. That isness never goes. That isness is bhati, shining. So you come to know about yourself. Like that, every entity, every people, they come to know themselves. Then, Priyam, you are attracted to you. Why do you like you? Why do we like us? Why can't we hate us? No. We hate sometimes even people who commit suicide. They are not self-haters. They love themselves. They are not able to become befit for a certain environment, they are not able to stick with certain problem. They are not able to find a solution for the problem. Therefore, they are collapsing. They are just committing suicide. Doesn't mean that they are not loving themselves. I love myself. Therefore, when Bhagavan divides, every object is endowed with 5 principles. It is Satyam. I am endowed with five principles. Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Rupam, Nama. I have got name, I have got form, I have got Priyam, attraction, I have got Bhati, self-evident, I have got my own existence. So like everything, Sarvataha, wherever you see, there are objects, all objects are endowed with these 5 principles. So out of these 5 principles, 2 of them seems to be a world that is evident to us, but other 3 is confirmed by the self-experience. That's what the basic understanding which we need before going into these verses. So when Bhagavan says Sarvataha Panipadam, Sarvataha Akshi Shiro Mukham, Sarvata Shruti Malloke Sarvam Avartya Tishtati, it seems to be divided. So one body is different than another body. So one object is different than another object. No. So everything is connected because this entity is all pervasive. That isness is all pervasive. That Bhati, the Chaitanya Swarupam is all pervasive. So this is how he takes. We will continue this. We'll make it more simple and we will understand with the help of forthcoming verses. So Bhagavan will help us to realize properly. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.